I want to talk about something that I can only call academic witchcraft or academic wizardry that is unknowingly or unconsciously being done to our children in high school. Particularly, my focus is Form 1 and Form 2 students. I pity these students most of the times. Do you know why? What I'm calling academic wizardry or witchcraft? And this particularly happens in most of these big schools. When your son or your daughter is in one of these big schools, sometimes you need to really get worried about some of the things that are going on. This is what I mean. Take time when you get back home today in the evening and ask your boy or your daughter. If the boy is in Form 1, this is now Form 2, term 2 is ending, the boy or the girl is going to term 3. Or if he or she is in Form 2, he or she is going to Form 2, term 3. Take time and ask that boy or that girl, how many times have teachers been changed for them in that class? I want to ask you a question, dear parents. If you go to hospital today and then you get diagnosed, after diagnosis you are given medicine. After 2 weeks, the doctor, you go back to check if you go for medical checkup. Then the doctor tells you that you are making some progress, but we need to change medicine. Reason, the medicine you are using, which you are supposed to be added, is not in store. So they change for you another alternative. Let's say it is an antibiotic. So you are given another antibiotic. After 2 weeks again, you go to the same hospital. You are told the one that you picked last time, again, is out of stock. You are given another one, another antibiotic. What will happen to your body system? If you are a doctor, maybe you can share with me. Definitely, there is going to be a crisis. You are going to have a health crisis. Let us even leave it at that point. You are building a house. And then you are building a 4-storied building. So when you are doing the slab for the first floor, you realize that some of the metals and the wires that you are supposed to be using are no longer in store. Then you are told that we will replace them with other wires, but not of the same quality like the first one, because the first one are not in store. You go ahead and you buy. Second floor, the same thing. Third floor, the same thing. Fourth floor, the same thing. What will happen to your house? Definitely, you will be toying around with people's lives. There are some teachers in school, in some of these big, so-called big schools, who feel that they are too senior, they are too experienced, and they don't need to teach the so-called junior classes, that is Form 1 and Form 2. So anytime a teacher comes to that school on teaching practice, the class is handed over to him or her. The teacher stays away, never even wants to know what is going on in that class. This is a juvenile who has just been brought into school to do teaching practice. Sometimes they don't even know what they are doing. And you entrust that kind of a person with that. I'm not saying the teachers who are coming on TP are not. Some of them are actually even better than the teachers who are even there. But I'm saying you are giving this teacher on TP your class to teach. You don't supervise. You don't even check around what is going on. You lose contact with your students totally. After one term, the BOM teacher is gone. Another cohort of teachers on TP have come. Again, you hand over the same class. In third term, a BOM teacher comes. You hand over the class to a BOM teacher. In one term, one subject, 3 teachers. That BOM teacher will teach for maybe, let's say, 1 term. When the students go to Form 2 in term 1, the BOM teacher has gotten a JSS job somewhere, or a job on internship somewhere, or actually greener pasture somewhere. That class is left untaught. The class again is handed over to another BOM teacher. A boy or a girl who is a slow learner, a boy or a girl who needs the basis in your subject, has been in school for 2 years of 6 terms and have been taught by 6 different teachers. Everybody coming, they come with their own tricks, they come with their own ways, they come with their own rules, they come with their own things. Dear parent, when your boy or your son comes home during half term or at the end of the term, these are the pertinent questions you need to ask your boy. And if you are a parent, these are things you need to address with the administrations in your schools. Because the truth of the matter is, We keep on crying about poor performance in Form 3 or in Form 4 during KCSE when we are bungling the future of our children in Form 1 and Form 2. Let me tell you, there are teachers who are in these secondary schools who are so selfish. They sit back. Their work is to produce results. They can only teach senior students. So somebody has to come and teach the students in Form 1 and Form 2, then hand over for them in Form 3 and Form 4. You teach for them Form 1 and Form 2, you hand over for them 3 and 4. Most times in my working station, I've always been accused of being too full of myself. And you know the reason why sometimes I'm told that if I take a Form 1 class and I want to reach with that class to KCSE, I'll never hand over that class. I want the class to grow under me. I want to see them progress. I want to associate with their weaknesses and strengths from beginning to the end. In fact, I always tell my students, even if it is a Form 1 class or a new class, I only need, for example, like 1 or 2 weeks. I know them by their names. After 1 month, because I'm a teacher of language, I know them by their handwriting. If I meet a piece of paper handwritten somewhere, I know these are Mercy's handwriting, these are James' handwriting. I know. You need to know your students. So, when a student is brought to school and the student has got a poor academic background, look at this student who was bungled in primary school in an academy, scored very high marks, came to this big school, one teacher after the other, one teacher after the other, one teacher after the other. The truth of the matter we cannot run away from is that, yes, teachers, we are all trained. Some of us are even trained employed by TSC. By being employed by TSC does not mean you are competent. I'm sorry. The fact that you are employed by TSC does not mean you are competent. The fact that you got a first class, honor, second class up and you graduated from the university does not mean that you are competent. Competence is seen in results and output. It is not in the papers that you have. Papers anybody can forge. So forget about telling us, oh, everybody. No, not all teachers are competent. So take a situation whereby this student was messed up in primary school, but was drilled and got high marks, went to this big school where classes, there is always changeover. One subject, you change teachers after every time. The student is reaching Form 3 with no background, no foundation, no direction, and then now the most experienced teacher now comes in Form 3. You are not going to make anything serious out of that child. And therefore, dear parent, when your child comes home, even after watching this video, sit down and ask your son and your daughter, how many times have teachers in their subjects been changed for them? If teachers are being changed severally, you need to use holidays to train your daughter, to train your son, and ensure that your children are